Liftoff initiated. Happy Friday, everybody. When you see that gentleman right there, it means two things. One, we're keeping this shit extra real on the program. The IQ's been elevated in the process. And number two, it's Friday. How you doing, Armando Lara? How you doing, brother? Good to see you.
I'm doing good, man. I'm chilling. Looking forward to the discussion today.
Oh, me too. Me too. And there's surprisingly, shockingly, on the last day of July, a lot to talk about. ESPN published a new story by Anthony Slater where Steve Kerr all but admits this whole thing is just a huge grift. Kerr and Draymond Green, the benefactors of Stephen Curry's greatness, just clutching on those coattails. Armando, I know you have a lot on your mind. I'm just going to shut up for the most of today's show and let you just spiel, brother. Just let you riff, providing Dub Nation and the NBA with a lot of tremendous content. So let's get into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready, man.
If you can hear me, are you frozen? Oh,
I'm ready.
Can man. You're not at home today, but I'm not going to reveal where you are. I haven't asked you if you're cool with that. Or can you reveal to the public your secret location, or at least the country you're in?
Yeah, man. I'm chilling in Baja and San Felipe the last 3 days.
Oh,
man. Got a lot of
away from home.
A lot of time to think and look at the stars and contemplate the nature of the universe and my place in it. Love it. It's the best.
You might run into Steve Kerr. He loves Baja too. He spends a lot of time there in the offseason with Bruce Frazier and Judd Bushler. That's his clique. Kerr's a subscriber of Clicks. That's his little grouping there. And so if you run into him, say hello for me. Say Cyrus says hello.
Nice, man. I'm glad I'm in good company because Steve Kerr's winning at life.
That's true. Yeah. No denying that. Let's get into it. We're powered by Sunrun. We're powered by FanDuel. Gotta get some lines out here. The over-unders. We're going to do our over-under show next month. Armando, you're invited to the panel. I'm going to do a whole panel show, and I'm going to get everybody's picks ahead of time so we can create visuals and go division by division and see who everyone's rolling with. You're welcome to that show, man. That should be a good one. But we'll do individual over-unders in just a second on win totals this season, courtesy of FanDuel, the program. It's the Sprewell Was Right edition, the Keeping It Real edition of Golden Days.
When keeping it real goes. Good to be real sometimes.
You got to start acting more like me and my team.
Keep it
real. Oh, yeah. Armando Lara, people can follow you on Threads and Instagram at Mando_man10. They could follow you on Twitter at Armando Lara M as in Mary. That you could be folks and follow me if you're interested on Threads and Instagram at Dog Wild. One word, 7 letters. On Twitter, it's a little longer. It's at Surf Journalist. The program, maybe most importantly, on both platforms at Golden Days Pod. Let's start with FanDuel here real fast. The official sports book of Golden Days and the Believe Network as a whole, which we are proudly a part of. Representing Dub Nation and the Golden State Warriors, providing your Warriors coverage on that incredible network. Armando, I don't know if I've asked you your thoughts. Maybe we touched on this last week, but the line got adjusted slightly. It got adjusted again. Oh, this is comedy. The Warriors over under. This line is moving. And it was at 40.5. That's what FanDuel opened this at. Went up to 41.5. I did not understand that at all. Now it seems to be reflecting reality a little more. This also represents which way people are betting, because the over-under for the Warriors win total this coming season has dropped from 41.5 to 39.5.
Whoa.
That is a strong indicator, Armando, that people are listening to us bet the under. They're making it a little more difficult for me to make that recommendation. 39.5, that's well below 500. 41 and 41's a 500 record. The sports books are now saying the Warriors are going to be at least possibly at least 2 games below 500. 39.5, that's making it challenging. I still lean under, but I went from strong to lean. in my recommendation. Armando, what are your thoughts on 39.5 as the win total for you to bet over-unders on with FanDuel?
I agree. What the meaning of it is, that means a lot of Bay Area money is betting the under, basically.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right.
To move it down because they need to try to get people to to take the likely bad bet, which is the over. And yeah, I'm going to talk about it later today, but the Warriors and Steph Curry in particular are going to be absolutely irrelevant to the NBA after the first week. And there's no way they're winning over 30 games, man. It's going to be in the 20s, maybe. Like, I'm going to talk about Steve Kerr talking about continuity, Joe Lacob getting all the blame. I'm going to talk about Steph Curry still being the fulcrum of this team and what that means. Like Al Horford, Porzingis, Yaxel, like just being misused. Like, it's all laid out in front of us. And
Wait, did you just bring up Yax? Sorry, I couldn't resist. Yeah, Yax is maybe the one thing to be excited for this upcoming season. That, and of course, Brandon Podziemski. I mean, if they give him an extension in the range of $24 million to 25, I don't know what the numbers are being thrown out there. Side note, don't trust any of that shit. But it wouldn't shock me, Armando, if Brandon Podziemski got like a 4-year extension at $100 million. Like, if that happened, if that was announced, I would more just kind of resign. That's how I'd feel. I'd be resigned with a reluctant acceptance because it wouldn't surprise me, but it's also so cringeworthy.
Cyrus, do you think if they actually gave him 24, 25, they paid him more than what they were willing to pay Kuminga with no outside offers, nothing, no counter offers, no market value? If they did that, do you think the light years Fitz Buki, dumbest element in the Bay Area, do you think that they would actually like pause for a second and be like, holy shit?
No. You know what I think would happen? They'd be like, dude, Podziemski's great. He's worth it. Like that. Wow. I'm almost positive that's how the rhetoric would go. They'd be like, dude, Podziemski's like, again, I try to tap into that delusion. And the best thing I could come up with, Armando, is maybe he could turn into Jalen Brunson. Like that is my delusion. I'm just trying to understand that perspective. That's not how I really think, but I think they'd be like, great. We got one of our cornerstones locked down. I really think that's how the reaction would be. How do you think they'd react? Do you think they'd actually sound like us, where we'd just be like, what the F is going on here? Like what do you think they would say?
Man, you just gave me pause. I was kind of thinking like they would actually be like, oh my God, like this team, the talent evaluation, like just pay. Like, I just want to point this out, man. This is so Lightyear's pod, Sam or whatever, came at me on Twitter the other day. It was about this Podziemski thing, and I'm like, dude, the ownership allowed Steve Kerr to play and develop Podziemski in 3-guard lineups, which means
4-guard lineups. You're always being nice about that. It's 4.
Well, let me finish my thought here. That
sorry. Yeah.
About the way this team, and this is the reason why they didn't get Jaylen Brown, by the way, and I'll talk about this, is that they value this connector guard at small forward. Mm-hmm. And they chose to develop pods at small forward, which was Jonathan Kuminga's position. Okay, everybody. In order to facilitate Steph still being a high usage, high stats guy on a loser team, which is what he is now. He's a good player on a bad team. And I said, that's not, the ownership allowed Steve Kerr and Steph Curry to do that vision. And Lightyear's pods came at me and said, oh yeah, really? Steph Curry and Draymond Green wanted Podziemski played? And it's like, dude, just think about it for like 5 more seconds. Who's the coach? What's the system? What did he get? And who's enabling the coach? It's Steph Curry. Like, do you really think Lacob has been tweeting, releasing shit, anti-Steve Kerr shit for years now? And do you really think, this would be the case if it wasn't for Steph Curry? Like, get out of town, dude. This whole week, side of like defending Steph Curry, like they're doing wrong by Steph Curry, and Steve Kerr's on the most epic PR run since probably like Alexander the Great, and when he was taking over Greece or something like that, like
Persia. He's conquering Persia.
Like, man, unbelievable. I would love to hear Lake of like, dude, you just re-signed Kerr twice and all this losing and you're getting blamed for it. Like, you've literally given these guys everything they've asked for. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
It is, dude. I love your laugh. And we'll talk about that and so much more, because I wholeheartedly agree with you that all the chatter about Steph, like, wanting out, Steph being upset. This is entirely Steph's making. Like, everything going down right now is because of Steph. Yep. And some folks out there actually, again, this is Dub Nation coping with the hard truth, right? Like, a lot of folks just don't want to believe what we say on this show, so they go to all these other platforms that are like echo chambers of positive Warriors content, and again, delusion. It goes hand in hand with it, and you have a lot of people just not being able to cope with the harsh reality that Steph just wants to be comfortable at this stage of his life, right? Like he got his Li-Ning shoe deal. That was clearly a major priority for him. It wouldn't surprise me if, like, ultimately, if he had to speak truth, if like someone gave him a truth serum and asked him, hey man, why didn't you come back for those final 5 games last year? It wouldn't shock me if Steph was like, dude, I had to lock down that shoe deal. Me playing those 5 games, me beating the Clippers, that sealed it. It showed that I still have some relevance left and can still play this game at this stage of my life. And he also got his coach back, who does everything in his power to make life comfortable for him. He's got his enforcer back in Draymond Green, who does everything in his life to make things comfortable for him. It's all about comfort. And Kerr, Draymond, they're like his handlers at this point. I think that's the safe bet, and it pays well to be Stephen Curry's handler. Steve Kerr's making nearly $20 million a year. Draymond Green's making $27 million a year to be Stephen Curry's handler. I think the one thing that we don't know, and I think I sadly would surmise that I don't think Steph is focused on championships at this point in his career. I think he's focused mostly on just being happy, right? I don't think he wants rings anymore to be happy. I think he just wants to stay in the Bay. Awesome. Warriors lifer. Awesome. But being competitive, that's just, I don't think that's a priority for him anymore. And, it sucks. But
dude, the only thing Steph Curry and Draymond did last year was play 2 games against the Spurs and play the game against the Clippers. And they actually tried to play the game against the Suns, but they were so bad that it didn't even matter.
They couldn't win it. Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Like, honestly, that was the entire season. It's what I've been talking about. It's just the old man Grift. I got a new nickname, chat, for the Warriors. We've been talking about the Golden State Globetrotters. This is just the pension, NBA pension Warriors. Like, it's just literally, it's what you said, Cyrus, like paying for past performance. Like, yes, Steph Curry is worth the money on a that he helped you be great 10 years ago, and they got 4 titles, and they built Chase Center. Although, I don't know, the economy was pretty booming, and there was like huge stock market stuff going on in the 2010s. So I don't know if they actually would have just stayed in Oracle, even if Steph Curry wasn't around, but that's for another story. And
Steph, it didn't hurt having Steph to push that through. Yeah.
And I would just say that, like, it's been leaked. It came out, like, this is them just paying these guys for the things they did. Like, they never made enough money when the Warriors were at their height, right? Like, they were always underpaid compared to how much money was being made. And, they're just paying them. They're paying it back. That's like, this is just them. It's the pension plan. I'm serious. Like,
you're right. Yeah.
Paying for the past because you owe these guys. And, literally, like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm surprised the NBA isn't actually going after the Warriors for cap circumvention with the Draymond Green contract. Like, you're telling me that like he took a pay cut, or he opted out to try to sign LeBron. They didn't sign LeBron, and then they just gave him the same number anyways. Like that's not cap circumvention. Like, I'm just saying, like, this is not this is their system. You know, they didn't want Jaylen Brown because that would mean not playing the connector ball for Steph Curry, getting Steph Curry's stat padding Steph Curry. That's why they didn't get him, and that's Steve Kerr's choice. He didn't play Jaylen Brown in
the Olympics.
In the Olympics, you know,
he didn't invite him. Wasn't even invited, despite being the Finals MVP.
Right.
Crazy shit. Yeah. When we come back, I want to ask you, Armando, your thoughts on Draymond Green only signing a one-year deal. That's the part that was a little surprising to me, because if this is all about Steph, at the end of August, approximately a month from now, Steph's going to be eligible to sign a 2-year extension. I'm not saying he's going to sign a 2-year extension. Maybe it'll just be one. But don't be surprised if he gets a 2-year extension good for like $140 million, right?
Woo.
Would not surprise me. That's what he's eligible for. And he's been the highest paid player in the NBA for like a number of years now, like 5, 6, 7 years now. He's been at the top, deservedly so. Again, you're not going to ever hear me rip Steph. Kerr, that's a whole other issue.
Money. He's not worth that money now.
You might be right. You might be right.
Steph Curry's worth about $25 million.
But my question is, if the plan is to keep Steph as long as he wants to stay and pay him as much as he wants and basically give him royalty treatment as he's deserved, why is Draymond not coming along for the ride? Like Kerr got a 2-year deal. I think specifically, I'm strongly guessing specifically because Steph's going to be around at least another year beyond this season. He's going to play with the Warriors at least until he's 40, most likely 41 now. Why did Draymond only get a 1-year deal? Did Rich Paul not push for a 2-year deal? Did the Warriors say no to that? Like, I find that to be a little peculiar. And when we come back, Armando, I'd love for you to answer in your opinion, what your thoughts are on what's going on there. Like, are the Warriors just expecting after this coming season that Draymond's going to accept like a 2-year, $10 million? I don't know. I'd love to know what you think about that. But you spoke about money a moment ago. You brought up the economy from the 2010s and how rip-roaring it was as the decade went along, leading to, among many financially advantageous moves by people like Joe Lacob, getting that land in San Francisco waterfront property to build that arena. Talk about just a gold mine. I mean, I never want to hear ever in my life crocodile tears for Joe Lacob and company's pocketbooks, because that arena's value appreciates at such a ridiculous rate that they could borrow against that for the rest of their lives with extraordinary interest rates. Like, they don't have to worry about money ever again. And again, that was largely through the 2010s, right? And you have Stephen Curry on your team. You're building a dynasty. The times are good financially. Well, they're not good now. Complete different. We're in a deep-ass recession. Most of the indicators which properly define what class of economy we're in are just eviscerated, right? Because transparency is not a thing at this moment. Folks, this economy blows. I'm guessing you feel me on that. You got to come up with ways to save money. Armando, you teach. You're a tenured professor at UC Berkeley teaching global finance. Am I wrong about the economy?
No.
It's in the shitter, I think. So you got to come up with ways to save money. Sunrun is one of those ways. If you are a homeowner, if you are paying electricity bills, and more specifically, if you're wasting money on electricity bills, that money's not going anywhere. You're not building equity on that. You're just throwing your money to a utility company that is putting profit over individual, needs and what's best for the world. They just care about making their 2 cents. So why not put that focus on yourself? If they're going to be greedy about things, why not save money and put that money in your pocket instead with Sunrun, America's #1 by a mile solar company, Tesla powered. And here's maybe the best part about being a Sunrun powered Golden Dazer. You're not actually buying a thing. There's nothing here where you have to put money up front. There's zero upfront cost here. If anything, you're getting $500 in your pocket as part of a promo that they're running right now. If you know someone whose roof is solar free, recommend them. Click on that link, the QR code there, or in the link below in the description. Put their information in. That includes you folks who live with your parents, because 49% of Americans are living with their parents today. That is the state of things in 2026. If you recommend your parents, they get $500. You get $500. It's an unbelievable promo. This is not going to last, by the way. Something tells me the moment the training camp starts, Sunrun's going to shift the promo from straight dollars in your pocket to tickets for Warriors games. And I don't know how valuable that'll be when Stephen Curry's listed as out for a month with a hamstring strain or whatever's going to go on there for a soon-to-be 39-year-old Stephen Curry. Take advantage now. Put $500 in your pocket. Start saving money by not wasting it on your local electricity company. Your monthly rates will drop substantially. Happens in nearly every instance. You also steady your rates so you don't have to worry about them jacking up your bill. This past year, on average, 18% increase for Americans across the board with their electricity costs. You can turn that into zero. Just a flat rate. That's what you're going to have to pay each month. My buddy Sam Batesh is currently in the process of getting those panels on his house. You should too. Help yourself. Simply click on that link, enter the info, click the link or click the link in our description. Armando's going to do it soon. He shares a condo with someone else. Have you talked to your neighbor, by the way, regarding those panels?
Not
okay.
Yet.
He's on it. He's on it.
I did read the San Francisco Chronicle recently had an article about PG&E costs are going to go up like double by 2030.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Armando. That's a huge selling point there. Don't let your bills skyrocket. Sign up with Sunrun. Do it today. And again, if you know someone, if you're renting, but you know someone who owns their place, just put their information in. You still get $500 with Sunrun. Armando, speaking of dollars, the Warriors are not saving money this season on Draymond. They're paying him nearly $28 million to be Stephen Curry's wingman. What's going to happen after this season? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, this is just a guess. I don't have any insider info, but my guess is Draymond didn't want to extend past that because it's possible the Warriors will be completely irrelevant after the first week of the season. And, maybe Draymond Green still has a lot to play and give. Like, he's a really good player, I still think, defensively. And he could definitely sign on a team, not as the $27 million second highest paid player on the team or third highest, but like LeBron. Look at LeBron, just took a freaking a low ball deal to go sign somewhere and still be relevant. I mean, Draymond Green is trying to promote the hype, the podcast, and that requires being relevant on a relevant team. And the Warriors, as I'll talk about today, are going to be completely irrelevant. So I think it's just he's getting optionality, and I sounds like the Warriors want some optionality too. They don't want their books tied up past. The only thing that's confusing is they re-signed Steve Kerr for 2 years. The only thing I can think of there is like Steve Kerr, that was his condition to come back, to be the PR man for 1 year. It's like he wants to get paid, I guess, and I don't know. They could just fire him. I mean, he's here because the reason they have him is because he's going to be in the media making excuses for why they're irrelevant and why they're losing. That's what he's being paid for, and he's really good at that. So I don't know. Is that worth whatever they're paying him?
Well, let me ask you this. If the plan is to go year by year here, then why, if you're Draymond Green, why even come back? I mean, are you saying that all the rhetoric that Draymond espouses pertaining to him wanting to be a Warriors lifer, do you think that's bullshit? Or do you think he's just grifting that $27 million knowing he wouldn't get that anywhere else? Like what do you think his intentions are long-term?
To be relevant for the podcast, for people to care what he has to say. And which they do. He's really good at that. Draymond Green is a winner at life. And I just think they're living the good life. There's no it's working, let's just suck it dry a little bit longer. I mean, there's I mean, it's keep cashing them checks until checks stop clearing.
Dude, they're sucking on that teat until that nipple is chafed. Yeah, they're milking every penny out of there. And you're right about Draymond's podcast. He's very focused on that. He's releasing episodes consistently.
Good for him.
Right. Yeah, no opinion on that, but from my end. But Jack Bauer in our chat brings up Jalen Brunson being the king of New York because he took less, and I highlight that because of Draymond Green. I don't know if you saw him. I don't know where he said this. I couldn't find. I think he was a guest on someone else's show. Maybe this was from Shaquille O'Neal's podcast. But Draymond Green was who side note, he doesn't fear anybody, and I do love him for that. He brought up like comments, or I'm sorry, I think the way this went down is Josh Hart, who has a podcast with Jalen Brunson, brought up comments that Draymond Green made from, I think, 2 years ago pertaining to Draymond criticizing Jalen Brunson for taking less money to form a team. I don't know if you remember this, but Draymond Green was critical of Jalen Brunson for doing so. And add to this if you can, because maybe my facts aren't entirely straight here. I did not do a lot of research on this subject, but I did see Draymond Green come out and actually like push back on that. Like, oh, wow, you're bringing that up still? Or did you see that? Do you have anything you want to add to Draymond and Josh Hart, like bringing up this beef from 2 years ago and continuing it on social media?
I think he said Josh Hart insinuating he's like a loser in the argument because he's bringing up that now after they won the championship, and he didn't bring it up when Draymond Green said it 2 years ago or something like that. Yeah.
It's like, but he brought it up now because they won a title. He brought it up now because the argument was concluded. I think that's why he did that. But Draymond recently, I didn't bring him up just for that reason. I brought him up because Draymond had on his show, his podcast, Indiana Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle. Did you see this?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
And this clip details the dawn of the Steve Kerr era with the Golden State Warriors. Rick Carlisle basically insinuating that he nudged Kerr back in 2014 to become the next head coach of the Golden State Warriors instead of the New York Knicks, because the Warriors had a team that was already set to reach the conference finals. And I'll explain why this clip is very pertinent fast forwarding to today, but let's take a listen to this first. And again, it's some interesting added insights about going back to this coaching decision. Friendly reminder, Steve Kerr became a head coach almost entirely because Phil Jackson, his former coach with the Bulls, wanted him to take over the New York Knicks job in 2014. And I think that job ultimately went to Derek Fisher. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I believe that's how it went down. And Steve Kerr went with the Warriors, and the rest is history. But the reasoning behind that, well, let's listen to Rich Carlisle. Am I sharing this correctly? Yes. Provide some details here on how he helped Steve Kerr become head coach of the Warriors. Let's take a listen.
In 2014, I was talking to Steve Kerr, your coach, on the phone about something unrelated to jobs. But that was when he was talking to the Knicks about the Knicks job.
Yes, sir.
I said, hey, can I talk to you about these jobs a little bit? And as president of the Coaches Association, like part of your job is to help give guys information and stuff like this. I said, what's going on with the Knicks? Because I keep hearing you're going to take the job, but it hasn't happened yet. He said, well, they don't want to do the fourth year. 1 year, he goes, well, there's, I don't know, some reasons. I said, I've heard your name with Golden State a little bit. I said, that is a conference finals team, like right now.
Wow.
If you want to go to a team that is ready to win, that's the place you should go if you can. And at the end of the conversation, 2 days later, he took the Golden State job.
Wow. You saying that probably played a large part in him taking that job, because all I heard during that time was Knicks.
Here's why I brought that up. I don't think there's anything new there that we learned listening to Rick Carlisle. I think that clip is hilarious because of the amount of people who still follow this ridiculous rhetoric, this ridiculous line of Steve Kerr built a dynasty. He didn't build shit. As Rick Carlisle just said right there, he inherited a team that on paper was a conference finalist. Mark Jackson built that goddamn team. All Steve Kerr did was come in, inherit a team that added, after he signed, Sean Livingston, Leandro Barbosa, even Brandon Rush was awesome on that team. Those are the 3 players they added after Mark Jackson got pushed out and Steve Kerr came in. And people still want to pretend that Steve Kerr somehow built this dynasty when all he did was just implement Greg Popovich's offense and added and sprinkled in the triangle with it. So, side note, when you hear Kalena Azubuike say split action, right? That's one of his favorite things to say. There's the splits, the split action. The split action is the triangle, all right? And so what Steve Kerr did is he took Greg Popovich's motion offense where everyone is constantly moving off the ball to put the defense on edge. He sprinkled in the triangle. And again, not his offense, other people's offenses. And that's all he did. He came in and he was like, Steph, Dre, you guys, Clay, if you do this on offense, you're going to unleash some shit. And look, credit to him 12 plus years ago for doing that. But to sit here and pretend that he built a dynasty remains one of the most ridiculous instances of malarkey I have seen in this toxic NBA media environment. He did not build a damn thing. He inherited greatness, and he lucked out into these championships largely because of Stephen Curry. And I think it's asinine that people still pretend that, like, he built something. He did not build shit. And if he's such an amazing builder, look at the last 8 years. 8 years, going on 9, where him and Mike Budenholzer, and this is the comp I'm going to keep bringing up, because no one pretends Mike Budenholzer is some brilliant head coach or some amazing head coach. But you look at the last 8 years, and this is going to go on 9 now. They both have 1 title apiece. Mike Budenholzer in the last 8 years has won 65% of his games. Steve Kerr's won 51%. And that number's going to go down even more this season. So stop with the bullshit that Kerr built a dynasty. He's lucky as F. Your thoughts, Armando?
I would say, I mean, we don't need to rehash that stuff. Like, it's the NBA, man. Like, Steph Curry had a chance to be a top 5 player of all time. You know, that's how good he was. And Draymond Green is the playoff MVP. I mean, nobody thinks higher of Draymond Green than I do. And Klay Thompson was the elite 2-way player. Like, basically just, I mean, I can't. Those are the guys that won 4 titles. And, you know, they're the ones that built this team. And yes, they would have won 4 titles with any other fucking coach in the league. Like, the greatest grift of all time is Steve Kerr convincing those guys that he had an equal contribution to it. I'm not saying he didn't contribute to it. Yes, they're passing, I think, the year they transitioned from Mark Jackson to Steve Kerr. It went from like last in the league to first in the league in assists or something like that. That's a great contribution. But the idea that they wouldn't have figured that out eventually with some other, like, it's ridiculous. And I'm telling you, they would have won more with a different coach. They would have won more. And
especially, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, it's the freaking NBA, man. It's not college plantation style stuff, dude. Like, the coaches, it doesn't matter, man. Like, it's all about the players, dude. You know, like, Steve Kerr's gut has gotten them a lot of losses here. And he was talking about in the media recently, Steve Kerr was talking about they'll have an edge this year because they have continuity. There's no continuity on this team. They're going to have different starting lineups every night like they've had the last 5 years. And the guys are going to be sitting back to backs. The only continuity they have is Podziemski playing 35 minutes a night at small forward, who got a standing ovation at the end of last year. All 82 game Podziemski. Wow, great.
Well, and it's not just, I think he got the applause too because he finally reached the incredible mark, the so difficult to achieve mark of 30 points. It only took him 4 years to do it. And because he finally reached scoring 30 points, he's done it once in his life. He's going to get rewarded with $25 million. It's an unbelievable thing going on here in the Bay Area. The absolute ugly part of a dynasty at its tail end, and that's what we're witnessing right now. And I love the fact, first of all, pure comedy, what Jack Bauer writes in the chat, that hopefully Steve Kerr's statue looks like the Dwayne Wade statue. I hope they don't make a statue. I don't think they make statues typically of coaches, but I think they did make one of Pat Riley down in L.A. If they make a Steve Kerr statue, god damn it, dude, that would be so ridiculous. I mean, I would endorse people putting graffiti on that thing, defaming it. Do what you want with that statue if they make it. Paint the face like a clown. I want to highlight one other thing here before we move on from the Steve Kerr subject. If you want to, Armando, I'll leave that up to you. But Anthony Slater wrote this piece on ESPN. And I don't know if you folks read it. There's nothing new in it. But one particular passage that I read and I want to pull out, and there's no sound to play from this, but this paragraph is Steve Kerr's words, and I'll read it verbatim. I think it deserves some music. Same music for his that we play for his avocado toast and bacon and naps. Where is that thing? Is this it? So Steve Kerr, for anyone who still does not believe that he is running this whole show and has been running this whole show since 2019, I'd say. This is what Steve Kerr said about the team adding no free agents, about the team not doing a damn thing this offseason. He was asked about that. Is this the right music? Is it this one? Let's go with this one. Steve Kerr said in this article written by Anthony Slater for ESPN, quote, "You have to understand your place in the league and where everybody else is and what the future looks like. Mike is really smart and prudent. He understands the landscape. Joe's in agreement on that. We're all pretty much really on the same page in terms of just being wise. Sometimes not making a move can be the best thing to do for your future. And you keep stacking up good moves, and eventually you'll pounce when you're ready." Unquote. Friendly reminder, Steve Kerr is running this whole thing. And a lot of this is on Joe Lacob. This is where I've lost a lot of respect for him, because Eddie DeBartolo laid the blueprint for how you continue a dynasty. The Spurs more recently also followed that blueprint for how you maintain a dynasty. Steve Kerr stubbornly refuses to acknowledge it, to follow along with it. Steve Kerr, obtuse Kerr, just wants to run it back and be comfortable. He wants to be in a safe space. He wants to remember with longing again. You got to get the music back on. The longing with ease of his first season with the team when he do yoga on home game days. I'm showing my script to the audience if you're listening on podcast. Then he'd eat a bacon and avocado sandwich from Summer Kitchen in Berkeley. Then take a nap. Hope you had a good nap there, Steve. Then go beat the dog shit out of every team who had the misfortune of rolling into town. Now he calls his wife from the road as he navigated the fragile locker room. This is the most confusing time I've ever had in my 11 and a half years, Steve Kerr told his wife. I've never had anything like this, unquote. I think Steve Kerr wants to focus on bacon and avocado sandwiches and naps. And by rolling it back, Armando, it makes those naps a lot more comfortable. The bacon is just a little bit crispier. The avocado a little more ripe. That's Steve Kerr's agenda. Your thoughts, Armando?
Do you guys really think they're working on anything in the lab this year to make the game they're not just dude, the offense is actually terrible with Steph Curry. The Steph Curry heliocentric ball they play, everybody looking off to make sure he gets a shot. Do you really think they're doing anything to feature Yaxel or get him to play with Guy Santos and Will Richards, guys that could actually get it in? Do you really think they're doing anything to like make this a 2026 run, like they're not doing shit, dude. They're not working on anything. It's all just go out there, get this guy shots, and try to make an impact. Maybe get Steph Curry some hype, and so he could sign a contract in Charlotte after his deal's done. I don't know. Like it's not like these guys are not like, he's not a young coach hustling to innovate. And like, could you think about this for 1 second here? If Lacob had balls, here's what should have happened, right? Like, they should have got rid of that coach last offseason, fired it. They should have done it even before, not extended him when they actually found something with Kuminga and Wiggins. And they benched Clay for the first time. But they should have fired him. They should have brought in a young coach. Like if they had gotten that Michigan coach, oh man. And then
Dusty May.
Yeah. And then someone
remember for a brief moment we were talking about Todd Golden out of Florida, and then we found out that the guy like pervs on young college chicks, and that idea just went poof in 2 seconds. But
so that if they had gotten a young coach who was ready to prove himself, and then they were able to take advantage of the Celtics having some issues, get Jaylen Brown, and then actually not trade Kuminga. So now, and then maybe you get LeBron. So now we're talking about a team with Steph Curry, Jaylen Brown, Jonathan Kuminga, LeBron James, and Draymond Green with a young coach. Like that's a different pathway, but instead they have this heliocentric offense to feature Steph at a certain level. And just, they were fully healthy last year as the 8th seed. And like, I'm just saying there was like a whole other path this way. And it all has to do with backing up that coach. And that has to do with the star player thinking that he doesn't have the ability to win without that coach, and it's pretty easy to see. So I don't really get the whole Steve Kerr thing, it's just ridiculous. Yeah.
I really do think it comes down ultimately to what Steph wants, and bringing it back full circle for the folks out there. And I love the fact that we're really seeing evidentiary now. Like we're seeing data, Armando, of which people on these socials, which fans are Stephen Curry fans and which are Golden State Warriors fans, right? Like the folks out there are saying Steph should get traded, Steph should go to another team for one more title. Those are Steph fans. Those are not Warriors fans. Those are the people that when Steph retires, so goes them. The folks who don't want that, I think, are still Warriors fans. But ultimately, if you want Steph to stay, if you want Steph to be a Warriors lifer, relax. It's going to happen. The downside is, unfortunately, Steve Kerr comes with that package. And if you don't like Draymond Green, which a growing number of you, I feel like by the day that number grows in terms of Warriors fans who have just decided to give up, wave the white flag on Draymond, he might be a part of this for years to come too. But that's the that's the catch. And but Steph's not going anywhere. And unfortunately, neither is Steve Kerr.
Dude, I just like Steph, they're just chilling, man. And I worry, Yax is gonna get a lot of playing time this year because these guys are just gonna be injured. Like there's no like integrating this stuff. Like like we're gonna Buki are gonna every fifth game, Al Horford is going to Al Horford gets a block. That's what he does. Al Horford hits a three. Oh, look, Porzingis, just ignoring that he's actually, their defense is much, much worse when he's on the floor because he's one of the worst fucking defenders on the court, even though he occasionally gets a block. Like just really, really ridiculous selling like this circus act. And, you could just see it unfolding. Like, we added it up. We added up the Western Conference teams. Like, we're concerned whether they'll even be in contention for the 10th seed. Honestly, like, there's that many teams better than them for sure. Like they're going to be struggling to get the 10th seed. Seriously, I'm serious about that.
I agree with you. And again, I think a lot of people agree with you because of that over-under number from FanDuel. Again, it started at 40.5, which means the line was set below 500 to begin with. For a brief moment, it went above 500 to 41.5. It's now down to 39.5. That's because people are betting the under. I love the fact, I don't know if our show has influence or not, but I do love the fact that we've been saying bet the under, and that line did go down 2 games. It's now 39.5. And again, the number of people betting affects that line. I think that's why it went down, because people saw that 41.5 and they were like, oh shit, that's a good line. Let's bet the under. This is easy money. And 39.5 makes it a little more difficult. But I'm with you, Armando. I do not see how this team stays relevant in December. Like by the time Jimmy Butler can come back, I don't know what the point is. Like, I could see this team being like 20 games below 500 when Jimmy Butler comes back. I could see, and this is, I'm not trying to be morbid here or depressing or negative, but look, I mean, this is reality, man. Steph's turning 39. I could see Steph like a week into the season, hamstring injury. And right, old man type injuries, back. Like, I could see back injuries emerging. I get the knee. He's got a bum knee now for life. I could see that knee suddenly acting up again. Steph's out. Remember last year how those updates just kept coming week by week, and all of a sudden it was like 40 games he missed? Like, I could see that kind of shit just constantly happening. Steph is on a week by week basis with tendonitis in his knee. Fast forward 3 months. Steph's on a week by week basis with tendonitis in his right knee. Like, I could definitely see that kind of shit. And Armando, it's going to be depressing. That's a huge reason why I'm completely open to talking about other teams, talking about the NBA as a whole. This show might have to branch out just a tiny bit. Obviously, it'll be always a Warriors show. But if you ever wonder, why are you talking about the Sixers today so much? Why are you talking about the Timberwolves today so much? It's because we got to talk about other shit that's kind of interesting here too. But Armando, what other are you looking at? Any other teams out there? Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. On that point, Cyrus, like, the Warriors are getting a lot of attention right now because it's interesting to watch the ship explode and go down. But I'm telling you, 1 week into the season, like, like when Peterson on the Jazz he's gonna score like 50 points the first week, and everyone's gonna be like, damn, is Kobe back? Like, like it's the NBA is gonna move on so fast from Steph and the lead. Ling bullshit. Like, it's gonna be so fast, and no one gives a shit anymore, man. No one cares at all. And as soon as it's clear that the game is over, gonna move on. Draymond's gonna move on. It's all good. Like the Bonza, the Sixers are gonna be so hungry, dude. Do you think Jaylen Brown is now in the hunt for a $70 million contract? LeBron, sadly for Warriors fans, is the only guy going to be relevant from this generation. Like, after these 19 guys, LeBron actually made the right winning move to like take a pay cut and go play for a contender. And none of these guys in Steph's era are going to be relevant. Kevin Durant out, Steph out. LeBron is smart, and he made it happen. And, I can't wait to see the Jazz. I actually think the Wolves, if they make this one more signing, and I'm curious, it was leaked today that Kuminga they're hot on Kuminga's radar, and that's a
which team? The T-Wolves?
That's right.
That's who side note, that's who I hope he ends up with. That Timberwolves team will be damn interesting if they end up signing Kuminga. I think any of the 3 teams that seem to be leaked to him consistently, Minnesota, LA Lakers, Cleveland Cavaliers, all 3 of those teams, I'm borderline shocked that none of these teams are being aggressive to seal the deal because he's a game changer, man. I don't get it. But again, we've seen incompetency in front offices time and time and again. And the amount of influence Kerr has to dupe so many people into thinking that Kuminga is not a potentially real deal simply because Kerr didn't believe it. Like, that is wild shit, man. Kerr failed miserably as a GM. He has shown time and time and again he's awful at evaluating talent. Yet people just double down on buying his bullshit. It's crazy stuff, man. Cult of personality stuff. By the way, I have a not so hot take for you, Armando, as we start to wrap it up here. Speaking of old players, a lot of people right now are on the Philadelphia 76ers jock, and that includes the bookies. The over-under on their win total, by the way, last time we looked at this, I think it was 47.5. It's now 48.5, or maybe it was that last time. I do think the over is a fairly safe bet. I think they're going to be a 50-win team. With that said, not so hot take. LeBron James, who turns 42 this year, don't be surprised if that body breaks down. Don't assume that he's just going to be like an amazingly awesome player for Philly. He might, but he could also turn into a 42-year-old who misses like 2/3 of the season, right? All I'm saying is don't be surprised if that LeBron thing does not turn out to be some spectacular experiment. I do not think Philly wins the title this year. I don't think they have the defense to do it. I think even if they get out of the East, whoever comes out of the West, whether it's San Antonio or OKC, most likely San Antonio, I think they're going to beat the shit out of them. That's just my 2 cents. What are your thoughts on LeBron and the Sixers? I don't think we've heard much from you about that.
Yeah, I am a believer in them, and I think they could do it even without LeBron and without Embiid. To be honest, like I think if I were them, they have a lot of young talent on that team. So Tyrese Maxey, Edgecombe, and Jaylen Brown, like those guys are going to get it in all year, and it's this dumb East. So like, honestly, they'll be a top 6 seed, which is all you need. And then who knows about the 50 games, but it'll be a lot of drama because Embiid's not playing and LeBron is hurt. As you said, he's getting injured, but honestly, they'll just be resting for the playoffs. And if they can do that game plan, which is just rest LeBron, rest Embiid, the issue with them will be continuity because that coach, that's a bunch of ball hogs on that team, a bunch of chuckers. And so like Embiid is the most ball hoggy player out there besides Steph. And like they got to work that out, right? That takes continuity, that takes development. So they have to play together. That's the only thing that gives me pause with that. But dude, otherwise, like honestly, they're gonna have a good record even without LeBron, even without Embiid. And then who knows when you get into the East, like the Heat, dude, do not be Giannis. Don't believe in Giannis. That shit was all paper champ stuff. Like that is not the real deal. The only thing they got going for them there is Andrew Wiggins, who's still an OG. And, we'll see about the Knicks. Are they going to be as hungry as they were last year? I doubt it. And, the thing about the NBA nowadays, Cy, is like who's healthy at the end of the year, who's not injured is kind of like
right
where it's going. It's the NFL model, so it's a little less interesting. The interest level on this year is going to be the 15 and 19 potential stars that just walked into the league that are ready to play now. And that's going to be really fun to watch and follow this coming year. That's what we're excited about.
I'm also fascinated to see how these older players match up against this younger generation that's slowly taking over the NBA, and especially this recent draft class. People are laughing at me, and look, I get it right now. I know this is a very wild out there take, but I really believe VJ Edgecombe is at a Dylan Harper level of talent, skill set, mentality. Like he's got it all. To me, Dylan Harper and VJ Edgecombe are both cut from the same cloth of just elite future greatness. And you look at all the players that came in this year, you look at all these other young players emerging, like the Scotty Barneses of the world. The Warriors, I think, are in for a very rude awakening with this lineup of either soon to be 40-year-olds, guys like Kristaps Porzingis who, lack durability and he doesn't play in the post. He's not a great defender. He's 7'3" and he can shoot threes, which is awesome, but it's very one-dimensional, and I think in today's NBA you got to be a little more than that. That's a huge reason why I think guys like LeBron, who's turning 42, might have a rude awakening, man. Like this season could be something very revolutionary in terms of seeing what this next generation brings. I just remember the start of last season, especially that Portland game, very early in the year, when Portland just ran Golden State out the gym. Their speed was eye-opening. Their pace compared to the Warriors was so night and day, and the Warriors did nothing. I mean, Yaxel is again, he's maybe the one and only thing to be incredibly excited about, but I don't think the NBA is going to bode well for these older dudes moving forward. Like this game, this next generation, man, they are legit.
So oversized. This is the year. This is the year it transitions. The Steph Curry, LeBron, Dwayne Wade era, Kevin Durant era, which they're a part of, it's out. We're gone. And I feel it sucks because, dude, Steph Curry had a chance to be a top 5 player of all time in NBA history, but he hitched his star to this wagon of this PR coach, and it cost him. He could have had another title. Unfortunately, LeBron has a chance at another title, and that's going to make a difference in comparing them. And, Steph, he's living the good life. He's winning at life, man. Steph has done great. For me, he was and is a top 5 player of all time. He's that good. He's that great. But you can't argue it. You cannot argue it because of the way it's gone down. The end of this title, the end of this year's gone. The end of this run has gone down. Hitching a star to the wagon. So sucks, but that's his bet. He made it. Night.
Oh, you're right, man. I want to play one more soundbite before we go. And this was Draymond again from his show. I thought this was an interesting clip. He talks about what we just briefly touched on, which was young players, and in Philly's case, VJ Edgecombe, who has the talent to potentially, take leaps and bounds. Following a fantastic rookie campaign, he finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting, and Draymond had some opinions about that. Where he said VJ's game might be negatively affected by being on the superstar team. And I just thought it was interesting. And before we go, Armando, I'd love to get your thoughts on takes like this, especially coming from Draymond, who kept endorsing and supporting Kuminga until Kuminga was gone. And for him to now give opinions about VJ being in a somewhat similar setting where he might get stifled by veterans and other players who are higher up in the pecking order of experience, I guess, maybe talent as well. Anyways, here's Draymond Green talking about how VJ Edgecombe, his experience is going to be in year 2 in Philly.
They got some figuring out to do. Like, Nick Nurse got to coach the hell out of this team and make it work. It's not just a shoo-in. VJ Edgecombe, you now got to guard the #1 best guard. Like, every night, that's your responsibility. Young fella had a great rookie year. He coming back into his 2nd year thinking like, yo, this is my chance to take that jump. He kind of the 5th option. I think when you look at the biggest losers in this situation, it's arguably VJ Edgecombe. If I'm VJ Edgecombe's agent, I'm not sure I'm happy with the summer that the 76ers have had. If I'm just VJ Edgecombe's agent, because this could affect a lot for VJ Edgecombe. Like, you go from being sometimes the 2nd option when Embiid was out to sometimes being the 5th option. It's a big, big, big difference. I don't know if y'all understand like how big of a difference that is. So I think the person who's going to have to figure the most out is VJ Edgecombe. He still aspire. He still want to be great. He still want to be an all-star. This ain't really set up for him to do that.
Here, the one thing that I think Philly has going for him, Armando, is Bob Myers, a figurehead who will make sure that things don't run amok in terms of minutes. Because unlike with the Warriors, he was in a tough spot. Like Myers just could not kind of trump Kerr's opinions on things, right? He was like, you know what, this is too much. He had to bounce, right? It would have been an ugly situation, I think, and Myers knew better. I don't know if the same dichotomy exists, the same power balance exists in Philly. I think if Bob Myers wants VJ Edgecombe to get 35 minutes a night, he'll make it clear to Nick Nurse, and Nick Nurse will do it. I that's my guess. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on the Philly conundrum this coming year?
Yeah, VJ Edgecombe's going to have to be an elite role player. I mean, Draymond's right that there's not really a path for him to go the all-star route with this lineup, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work, because that that means he could be an elite role player with youth and fresh legs, and maybe he can guard the best player every year. We're going to find out. So, it could be a really great thing to have a guy that has all-star potential being your elite energy defensive role player. That could be excellent. It's about giving these guys run. He's going to get a lot of run. The Warriors, they chose to give run to unathletic connector guys who fit an engine that just gets injured. So they did not play their athletes. They had Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga and Andrew Wiggins, and they never played them together ever. They didn't do it.
Ever.
They didn't even practice together. So they instead invested in Schroeder and Podziemski at small forward.
Chris Paul.
Yeah, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, who was not an NBA winning player anymore at that point. And, that's the route they took.
Corey Joseph.
That's the route they took. That was the bet they made. And, now Edgecombe is the athlete, and he's going to get run, man. It could be a really great thing.
Anthony Lamb, Ty Jerome, Corey Joseph, in case people missed that. Yeah, it's been a lot of ugly. They're going to be exciting. The NBA is going to be exciting. It's one of the best sports out there. Maybe the best. Certainly up there. Top 2, I think. Armando, anything we forgot to cover today before you go back to your amazing vacation?
That's it. I'm chilling. We're excited. We're talking about the Jazz, the maybe the Minnesota if they could get a Kuminga. We'll see. We'll see where the Kuminga piece lands. Lakers, Minnesota. I've heard some other contending teams are in the mix.
Well, Armando, I am shocked that the Kings have not capitalized on the fact that Kuminga is just out there. Like, what are you doing? If you're like this, I know it's the Kings. I get it. They're a dysfunctional organization. They rarely make smart moves. What are you doing? Like you have 2 super exciting pieces that your fans could get excited about. It could at least be a fun product to watch with Darius Acuff Jr. and Kuminga running that show. What are you doing? Like, why are you not aggressively making this a thing? And something tells me this Peyton Watson restricted free agency is part of what's holding up the Kuminga deal. Part of it is clearly Kuminga wants to get paid. We'll find out. Anything you want to add to that?
The Kings will be more interesting than the Warriors this year. I'll add
that. Hopefully, Yaxel Foley will not make that a reality. I really like this kid. Side note, in terms of me having a childish sense of humor, I wouldn't hate it if behind the scenes we suddenly had a little competition for attention between Ayesha Curry, who's been the queen of the Warriors for about, 15 years, and Yaxel's. I don't know his partner's name, but that's a competition I want to see behind the scenes in terms of attention. Sign me up for that. Give me some of that reality TV. I want it. I'm being facetious. I'm done. Armando, anything else? Are we done?
That's it, man. Good to see you guys in the chat. I always love it.
Always a pleasure. We're back soon. Thanks, everybody. Got some emails. I got a future show I need to do solo just to get some emails. That mailbag is filling up. Armando, love you, brother. One more time, people can follow you on Threads and Instagram at Mando_man10. Maybe most importantly, provided you want the subscribers. I mean, you seem to have a very steadfast conviction that you relay to the audience with your messaging of don't subscribe to us. We don't need you. You need us. Do you want subscribers for Sprewell Was Right, or are you comfortable just having the brand out there and not soliciting subscribers?
Sprewell Was Right. Only come to us if you fully believe in the NBA. You never, ever choose the coach over the player, ever, under any circumstances.
Absolutely, man. And anything in the chat that we missed before we go? I don't think so. All right. Money Checkup wanted to know from you, Armando, your thoughts on the Lakers.
Gonna have to wait
with or without JK. Like what the difference in that team is if they add JK versus if they don't. I think it's substantial.
Gonna have to wait till next week to hear my thoughts.
Sounds good. I like that. A tease. Look at you, Armando. You're picking up this media game. I love it. And you're also on Twitter at Armando Lara M as in Mary. Sprewell Was Right. Subscribe to that, folks. We're back soon. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your vacay, brother. I'm not going to reveal your specific location in Mexico, but have fun. I love that country. Good shit.
Thanks, man. Good to see you,
Have
Si.
a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.